Forma.8, a Metroidvania that is unique. To start this off, I must say, it's not a bad game by no means, but not perfect either. A good thing to keep in mind is that all of this is my opinion, and that all of this has some small amount of bias behind it no matter how hard I try to keep it out of the final video. I'm going to review the game in 3 categories: gameplay, visuals, and added features from a scale of 1 to 10. Then, I will add all of these scores up and average them out in order to find the final gameplay rating. Without further ado, let's get on with this. The game starts out as you, a little droid thing, crashing onto an alien world. As you fly through these pulse caverns, you find your buddy, steal his soul, and run off with the ability to create pulse waves. Soon you find a doohickey, and yeah, you see what I'm talking about. Soon after, you find another dead buddy and grab his boom ability. There are other abilities you can get, such as one that allows you to teleport a short distance. However, these two are the most used. Is this complex? No. Is there action? Kinda. Does it control like a wet fart sometimes? Yes, more than just sometimes. I think after a while you get better at controlling your drone. However, that doesn't mean that it can't be this way from the start. The game feels like one of those visuals, not gameplay video games, such as Abzu or Journey. But this game fails to amass you in the world. There are enemies that serve as no threat unless you fail to pay attention, like I have many times in this game. So gameplay-wise, even though it is sometimes fun to solve the simple puzzles, kill the simple enemies, and make simple combos, I can't give Forma.8 a higher score than 6. But dear lord, visuals are a different story. The graphics are a 2D game with 3D assets that look stunning when combined. The backgrounds look great no matter if it's hot rock of the lava world or the cool background of the backing of the caves. There are some moments and struggles. For instance, I think it'd be nice if there's more detail to some of the enemies. But that's just a small disclaimer. Also, even though the enemies are simple to fight, they're just grunts. My complaint is that the bosses and mini-bosses look too plain, even though they dwarf you in size. The graphics occasionally bug out the hitboxes, not enough to hinder the gameplay anymore, but enough to where it can get slightly annoying. And sometimes the explosives have odd effects on breakable rocks, causing them to explode when they should not. But visually speaking, it is beautiful for a 2D Metroidvania. Many times you will find yourself amassed into the look of the game. Everything has a unique style to it, such as wreckage or debris sometimes will pass over your little drone, allowing your drone to feel immersed more into the environment. So, for visuals, I'd have to give Forma.8 a 9 out of 10. Now, after giving the gameplay a low score and the visuals a high score, you might be wondering what I'll be doing for the added features, because it's not very specific. Well, added features, in my mind at least, contribute to the community's choice of how much they enjoy the game. For instance, Battlefront 2 would get a negative number for added features, or something such as The Last of Us or some of the Halo games would get a higher score due to the praise of the community for enjoying them. The thing about Forma.8, however, is that there's not really that much for added features or a community. It's not a AAA game, it's an indie game. And unlike most indie games that build up a fan base as they travel through, this one really didn't. It's kind of like Journey in the sense that they're the people who like it, and they will loudly and proudly tell you that they like it. However, it took me the fact of it being for free on PlayStation Network for me to even consider to purchase the game for free. So, in the sense that it's popular and loved by its fans, it's not popular, but fans enjoy it, and I can see why. Although the game controls terribly at times, it's very stunning to look at and quite beautiful. There's also a giant bomb DLC, which I don't want to spoil for you, but it's pretty fun. So, added features wise, I'd like to give this game probably a 6 out of 10. Because it's not great, the added features aren't. But they're good enough to keep you invested. And they're not like EA, which ruins the whole game for you. So, the final score for Forma.8. This month's free-to-play game on PlayStation Network, and I don't know about Xbox, I don't play Xbox. So, drumroll please. 7 out of 10. It's a mediocre game. Not terrible, not perfect. It could be better, could be far worse, however. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but that's just to say that the game lacks in some fields that others might improve in. However, just like I prefaced this video saying, this is my silly little opinion, and it shouldn't bother you that I liked a game that you hated, or hated a game that you liked. It's my opinion, and you are entitled to yours. Some final reflections I have on the game, however, are that the boss fights always bring a new challenge, and I'm quite happy with that. It took me until this boss fight, or a little bit before it actually, to figure out that those flowers that the bird enemies spawn out of could actually be destroyed. I felt like an idiot, but that's how this game made me feel. It made me feel like I learned something. Same with how to defeat this boss. It took me 6 tries, because it showed that this did damage, but I didn't know that it did such little damage that it did next to nothing. However, with all these interesting facts, the gameplay just still fell flat for me. The visuals, although great, couldn't make up for the lack of content and the lack of gameplay. If you're in for a very quick-to-play, free-to-play game, then this is a good option. But if you're in for a long-term game that's going to keep you invested, I'd look more into a game such as The Witcher 3, or Skyrim, or Call of Duty, for God's sake. But for an indie game, I must say, I have quite the liking for this game. And I hope you do too. So, with that being said, please go down into the comment section and tell me what I should review for the next game next week. And also, if you would be so kindly, subscribe and leave a like in the comment section. Also tell me what you liked about this video, what I could improve on. This is my first one, not video, but my first ever review. So I'm not the greatest at this, but I'd like to see what your suggestions are for me. Without further ado, thank you so much for watching, and I'll leave you with this little bit of gameplay and a little bit of music in the background. All of you have a great day. I will see you next time.